Welcome to Abundant Excursions. We understand that travel is more than just a destination. It's a once-in-a-lifetime experience. We offer the perfect blend of luxury and adventure to create the ideal holiday getaway. From romantic beach escapes to exotic island retreats, we will work with you to find the trip that speaks to your heart. We specialize in romance and group travels. Planning a honeymoon, an individual or a group intimate celebration? We got you. What are you waiting for? Send us a message. Abundant Excursions, your luxurious access to the world.
Based in the United States, working exclusively with travel advisors to really help them to design extraordinary, independent European vacations for their clients, so for you. And we do focus specifically in 4 different areas of expertise. The first is customization, because you truly are worthy of a European adventure as unique as you are. The second is indulgent travel, and it's not about the money that you spend, but it's all about that private over the shared sightseeing, the pre-booked private transfers, hotel room upgrades on the rail service to really give you the most luxurious stays imaginable. Because really, after these 2 years of not being able to travel so much to Europe, you really deserve to see the world in style and comfort. And then discovery, which is one of the best ways for you to immerse yourselves in the history, culture, and cuisine of a destination, and to seek that authentic experience away from the crowds. Oftentimes, this does mean traveling beyond those big cities and exploring the hidden wonders of less frequented villages and landscapes, which we know with cruising is not always a possibility because you're stopping in those bigger port cities and not able to really get into the countryside. And then we have transformation or transformative travel. This is all about expanding horizons, adopting new perspectives, and focusing on our well-being, embracing the extraordinary. So what I need you to keep in mind is that we're not your typical motor coach company where hotels and sites and destinations are chosen for you. With Europe Express, you're on your own schedule and you decide how, when, where you want to travel. And Angela is your guide in this process of putting together that ultimate European independent vacation. So as far as the product line that we have to offer, just so that you know, Europe Express is truly a one-stop shop for the entire independent European vacation to the travel advisor. So we have the air contracts with all major carriers and offer all classes of service from your economy to business and first class. For hotels or accommodations, we really offer accommodations for every budget, from those 3, 4, 5-star hotels and castles and villas and paradors, pousadas, B&Bs, and apartments. On the sightseeing side, we really have an amazing array. We have over 600 sightseeing options, from a basic hop-on, hop-off tour to fast-track entrances to special interest tours like beer and wine, history, and culture. With transfers, we want to make sure that you get safely from one point to another. So we offer shared private and executive transfers to get you from the airport to the hotel, from the hotel to the train station to the cruise port, or wherever it is you need to go. And if you're looking to chart your own course through a destination, we're going to help Angela, your advisor, to arrange that car rental. And then when you choose to vacation in Europe, odds are you may travel by rail at some point during your stay. It is easy, quick, affordable, and scenic, not to mention eco-friendly, multi-generational, and I say it on almost every webinar that I do or presentation, it is a bit romantic. So I'm going to ask that you discuss your interests, the destinations, the type of air travel and accommodations, sightseeing that fit your budget with Angela, and she will work with our staff to secure your quote, get you that best possible package pricing, and book your European adventure for you. So the benefits to you in going through Angela and Angela using Europe Express is that we are an established tour operator with over 30 years of experience in this marketplace. So since our inception in 1990, we've worked exclusively with those travel advisors to assist them in creating completely customizable European adventures for individual travelers like yourselves, couples traveling together, groups of 10 or more family and friends. Our team here in the United States is comprised of knowledgeable, passionate, and well-traveled reservation specialists who have lived, worked, studied in, traveled through Europe extensively. So they not only know the destinations, but they know our products inside and out. And they're there to really hold Angela's hand in putting together this ultimate vacation for you. We also have a Barcelona office. This office assists in contracting our hand-selected products like those hotels and sightseeing activities and other services. But in your instance, which is most important, they assist in servicing our 24/7 hotline. So when you're traveling and you're in destination, you know that you're in the best hands with Europe Express. You'll actually have a number that you can contact in case of emergency so that we can resolve the issue that you're having in destination. So let's dive into pre and post cruising. The whys. So why should we do this? You know, we all know that despite the joys of cruising, it can come with its fair share of challenges as well. Who really wants to arrive after an international flight at the crack of dawn to immediately catch a taxi, a transfer, or train to your port city? And then after it's all over, rush to disembark, find your luggage, hail a cab to the airport along with all the other hairy travelers. Now, don't get me wrong. Cruising is one of the great joys of life and is consistently a top choice among vacationers. I mean, where else can you dance beneath the stars, enjoy luxurious spa treatments, and dine on Michelin-starred meals, all while sailing in the sun and unpacking your bags just once? So a cruise can be heaven, but if it's not planned well, it can be bookended by travel stresses. So what's the solution? Well, believe it or not, the way to lessen the anxiety that comes with being away from home is to actually be away a little bit longer. Yep, extend that stay. And here's what I mean. What if there were a way that you could prolong the journey, lessen the frustrations that come with a rushed arrival and departure, and really build in a host of experiences you'd never have otherwise? You can do all of this and more with a pre-cruise land adventure or a post-cruise extension. So in the next few slides, I'm going to uncover some of the top reasons why this is a great option for you, the benefits to you, and why through Angela and Abundant Excursions, Europe Express is that trusted source you can turn to for this type of travel. So we're going to get started with those perks that you can expect to enjoy with a pre or post add-on. And the first one is time. Value. Since a large portion of your vacation dollars is spent on transportation expenses, why not maximize their value by adding on an additional land journey? So really think of it this way. If you have already made the investment to travel across the Atlantic to Europe, why not tack on a few extra days and allow yourself to enjoy the sights and the culture? Not only will this give you the time you need to ease into your cruise or recuperate from that at-sea excitement, it will also provide you a second getaway you may not have otherwise enjoyed, all for less than it would cost you to return to Europe again at a later date. We move to time. So the second benefit is the gift of time. Much like the argument of saving money, extending the vacation also saves time in the long run. Again, for example, if you've gone all the way already halfway across the globe to sail that Mediterranean Sea and you find yourself in Barcelona, why not see all there is to see? If you're there, it just makes sense to maybe sample some tapas, take in a bullfight, and stroll through the Las Ramblas. Rather than ending the journey in Barcelona, why not spend a few extra days in the country itself? So you can visit the art galleries of Madrid or shop in open air markets of Seville, learn the flamenco in Andalusia, or snap a few pictures of the windmills that overlook the plains of La Mancha. Now, taking a few extra days to explore in-country will be far easier to do than booking, again, that return trip once life gets hectic and the real world gets in the way. So local interactions. Most cruises offer guests multiple port stops on a single sailing. However, with a light schedule, meaning only certain sightseeing offered and only a limited amount of time in that destination, along with the scores of travelers all arriving at the same time. Sometimes this experience affords only a brief taste of the destination. Now, for some, that's fine. For some cruisers, all they want is that cruise and to enjoy that cruise, and that's fine. But for those that really want to see other cities and destinations, it really only gives you that brief introduction. So in addition, many of the world's great cities and villages are just too far inland for a large ocean-going vessel to access. And a great way to dive a bit deeper into culture and enjoy the true local experience is to just go a bit further. And that's where a pre-cruise journey or post-cruise excursion can really enhance a vacation. It lets you explore the out-of-the-way places that cruising tourists rarely visit, inviting you to discover what life is really like in those parts of the world. Personal encounters. So another benefit of pre and post cruise getaways is the chance to personalize the journey. When you sail, you go where the ship goes. When you design a land package, the journey is limited only by your budget and your imagination. So if you want to explore the Greek fishing village where your grandparents honeymooned, you can. If you want to trace your family's Danish heritage before you head to the harbor, we can make that happen too. What about exploring the back roads and small villages you remember from studying or actually being in World War II? No problem. Pre and post cruise adventures and getaways let you design a trip that is really tailor-made to those interests that are yours exclusively. And lastly, your health. Imagine disembarking after 10 days at sea only to feel seasick once you're on land. Land sickness is motion sickness that occurs after that gentle rocking of the boat stops, and it can be compounded when travelers immediately then turn around, jump on board a plane or a train to travel home. The best way to combat this dilemma is to allow yourself to spend just a few extra days on land, walking it off before attempting to travel again. So now let's talk about some of our most popular pre and post excursions. We have some that are pre-packaged. They're very easy for Angela to just pick up and book for you. But again, it's all about customization as well. So one of the greatest trends in travel right now are those tailor-made vacations. These intimate, customizable trips are on the rise and leading demand this year. As desire grows for a more specialized experience, pre and post cruise vacations allow yourself to take the cruise experience and, something that may seem like it's a fixed itinerary, and then expand it to meet your individual needs. Angela will work with the Europe Express team, as I said before, select from our broadest array of products in Europe to really create that truly customized itinerary. And then we offer, of course, that full range of accommodations from that budget to luxury, as well as all of your transportation needs from the air to rail to motor coach services. Let's talk about Amsterdam. Amsterdam is one of those port cities, and the best way for you to really ease into your cruise vacation is with something that the Dutch call Geselligkeit. So when we think of this word, we think of it's a cozy sense of belonging, kind of like a warm sweater that you're wearing on a cold day. It is truly what draws the locals to Amsterdam's cafes for leisurely afternoons of beer and conversation, and why traffic jams are more likely to be caused by bicycles than cars. So you can really slow things down before having to rush to port, and you can stroll through secondhand bookstores, wander the city's canal fronts, listen to the bells that echo off the cobble streets, and visit the fragrant floating tulip markets. This is a 2-day pre-cruise stay and can include as much or as little as you wish. So from tours of the Anne Frank House to the Van Gogh Museum. Initially, this 2-day features a private arrival transfer from the airport to Amsterdam Hotel, 2 nights hotel accommodations in Amsterdam, private departure transfer from the hotel to the cruise port, and continental breakfast daily. How about Barcelona? So from gorgeous beaches to bustling shops and vibrant art scene to bohemian cafes, our next destination really pulses with an energy all its own. The Catalan port of Barcelona is one of Europe's most unique and fascinating destinations, and truly, I'm saying this honestly, one of my favorite destinations. It is full with historic Gothic buildings, a culture clash of modern art. It is a pre-cruise option that's really ideal for travelers who wish to meander through those gourmet food halls, the antique flea markets, the exotic tapas restaurants, really before heading to sea. So this is a 5-star accommodation. You can relax in luxury and refinement before heading off on your grand European cruise. This includes the private airport to hotel transfer, 2 nights hotel accommodations in Barcelona, private transfer to the hotel docks, the private transfer to the dock from the docks to the airport. So we can do this as a post cruise as well. And then continental breakfast daily. Skipped over London. So sometimes the vacation also has wrapped up, but you're not ready to call it quits. And that's why Europe Express offers post-cruise vacations like our unforgettable escape to London. So you can choose from an amazing, historical and art exhibits to visits to the National Gallery and to other museums. You can see the iconic Tower Bridge, the Houses of Parliament, walk in the footsteps of Dickens, sip that high tea at a London hotel. Maybe you'll shop for one-of-a-kind finds at Harrods, watch the boats on the Thames, or even take a Thames cruise, and catch performances at Shakespeare's Globe Theatre or in London's West End. Then after a few more days of rest and relaxation, you can finally ease back into your busy, hectic lives with no regrets. So on this pre or post, and I know that we labeled this as a post, you have a private dock to hotel transfer, 2 nights hotel accommodations in London, the hotel to airport transfer, private as well, and continental daily breakfast. Now, when I'm saying private transfer, you're not in a little motor coach shared with other travelers. You're there with your little group traveling back to the airport or to that cruise port. So how about Venice? Venice is built on more than 100 islands and a lagoon in the Adriatic Sea. And Venice has really attracted lovers, poets, and artists for centuries. With its romantic waterways and those hidden, surprisingly bustling piazzas scattered through its cobbled alleyways, Venice is truly, believe it or not, a walkable city with wonders at each turn. So this is a pre or post excursion, which offers the private dock to hotel transfer, 2 nights hotel accommodations in Venice. If you're doing it as a post, it will include the hotel to airport transfer and also continental breakfast daily. Our last one that I want to feature today, which would be for the big ocean cruising, is Athens. So Athens is the capital of Greece and at the heart of ancient Greece. It's really still dominated by those 5th century BC landmarks. And although flights from the US connect to several of the islands, you'll most likely need to land in Athens before adventuring out to those islands or venturing out to those islands. If arriving from North America, we encourage you to stay in Athens for a night or two to recover from jet lag and to get a glimpse of what Athens has to offer. So this again, or post excursion offers the private dock to hotel transfer, 2 nights hotel accommodations in Athens. If it's the post, private hotel to airport transfer, and then continental breakfast daily. Now, although Europe Express offers these pre-built and post itineraries, remember, again, we're all about customization and helping you and your travel advisor to design the vacation of your dreams. And while I did focus a lot of our attention mainly today on ocean cruising, I wanted to also just highlight that it's possible for us to assist you with your river cruise needs. So what I mean by this, let's take, for example, you've booked a river cruise from Basel, Switzerland to Amsterdam in the Netherlands with Angela. And now you need help with pre and or post. So chances are on a cruise like this, a river cruise like this, you're not going to fly directly into Basel. Most likely, you may want to experience Paris or Zurich before your cruise, or maybe Amsterdam or Paris at the end of your cruise. So we can help Angela to secure that air, get a transfer from the airport to the hotel in Paris, where we will have already booked 2 nights pre-hotel for you. Maybe add in a trip to Versailles, maybe a macaroon making class or champagne tasting. We can then add a transfer from the hotel to the train station, where we will have already booked a train inclusive of seat reservations from Paris to Basel. Once you arrive into Basel, we will have a transfer from the train station to the cruise port. And on the post side, perhaps a transfer from the cruise port to the airport, or more time, again, in Amsterdam or Paris. We'll combine it all into one seamless itinerary and provide Angela with the best possible package pricing, again, for you. So now I'm sorry, I skipped ahead just a little bit, but here, I just want to highlight some things about what you should know before you go. So policies, procedures, and requirements for entry into whichever country or countries that you choose to visit is still paramount. Of course, Angela will assist you in providing resources, but make sure that you are also aware of continuously changing requirements for travel and where to find the latest information, because this can change at any time. It could change mid-flight while you're on your way over to Europe. I want to talk about combining regions. So while it's great to integrate various cities and regions into a customized independent European itinerary, check to make sure that you allow ample time to enjoy, relax, and really immerse yourselves. A lot of clients always ask when to go. Well, most tours operate year-round, and Angela will check with us for blackout dates, but that brings me to my last tip, which is booking early. So the cities and sites highlighted in this presentation are truly top cultural, historical, and culinary getaways for travelers from all around the world, not just North America. So it's understandable that flights, hotels, and sightseeing options get full in advance. May through September is truly peak season. So if you're planning your trip then, we do recommend to book at least 6 months in advance for the best availability. I do want to mention that because of pent-up demand due to restrictions on international travel in both 2020 and 2021, we're already seeing a flood of requests for travel in 2022. And given this, we encourage you to begin dreaming and planning your European adventure with Angela right now. That being said, I also want just to note that 2022 is still set to be a banner year in Europe. There are 2 festivals that are held every 10 years falling into 2022, which is the Floriade in Amsterdam, Holland, and the Passion Play in Oberammergau, Germany, which was canceled in 2020 and moved to 2022. Each of these festivals are scheduled to operate from the end of April through October. And along with these, there are a number of other annual festivals that are, again, set to resume. Just to name a few of them, Oktoberfest in Munich, Salzburg's Harvest Fest, the Christmas markets are all over in Germany, Austria, Switzerland, France, the UK, Croatia, and other countries as well. There's Bastille Day in France, Edinburgh's military tattoo, the running of the bulls in Pamplona, Spain. There will be pilgrimages to towns like Lourdes in France, Assisi in Italy, Santiago de Compostela in Spain, of course, the Ibiza closing parties. So be sure that if you're thinking of traveling to Europe in 2022, that you start working on that itinerary today. And on this slide, you'll see Angela's information. So while there are so many corners of Europe to explore, this is just going to wind down the suggested itineraries that we have, but your customized European adventure, again, is only limited by your budget and your imagination. So call Angela today, start a conversation on your next independent European vacation. Now, I just want to thank you quickly for taking the time to learn a little bit more about Europe Express, what we have for pre and post itineraries, what you can dream to add and put together on your own. Angela, I'm going to stop this presentation here in just a second. And if we have any questions, I'm happy to answer them. So I'm going to put my video back on here.
Oh, quite all right. Thank you so much. No, we didn't have any questions. You know, this is actually, I know, is a new territory for a lot of people in regards to pre and post. Some people, those that I know who do go on cruises, just look at just cruises alone. So this is kind of an idea of why I wanted to bring this to the forefront, is because I know a lot of travelers aren't used to thinking of the pre and post. They're just like, oh, let's just get on this cruise and just go, and then not think about, oh, I can actually, after the cruise is over, I can actually end, if my cruise ends in Barcelona, I can actually stay a few days in Barcelona. Or there, because I was there, I know for a fact there's one particular itinerary for Norwegian, I know it's the Mediterranean, where it starts in Italy, and I can't remember which island. I think it's Rome. I'm not for sure, but it ends in Barcelona. Yep. So they can do a pre in Rome, or they can do a post in Barcelona. So it's just kind of thinking outside of the box and not thinking that, oh, I just need to do everything on the cruise. I can actually explore a little bit more, because as you were mentioned that when you're on the cruise, you have certain days where you're able to go to certain destinations, and it might not even be a whole day.
Exactly.
And you have to make sure that you're back on that cruise at a certain time, because if you're not there, they can actually leave you.
Exactly.
You don't want that.
Doesn't, those little, while those shore excursions are awesome, mm-hmm. they don't get you as deep into or as far into that country to really experience, mm-hmm. Those people, the culture, the cuisine. I wanted to also mention, it doesn't have to be just in conjunction with a cruise. Mm-hmm. So example, a couple years ago, before all COVID came to us, my mom. So my mom was born in Austria. She came here when she was 6 years old. So she'd never been back to Austria. Never. The woman at that point was 74. So she decided, this year is the year I'm going, we're going, and that's it. So what I did, quite honestly, to make it easier just for the two of us to travel, I booked a motor coach journey, right? I did a Germany and Austria so that it would get us everywhere quickly, right? Still not being able to see everything that we wanted to see. So I also did a pre and a post to make sure that we had time on the front end and on the back end to see what other things that we really wanted to get into the itinerary. So don't think of it as it has to be with a cruise. If you've booked that motor coach journey and you want to do a couple days on the back end, on the front end, it's easy to do that as well with Europe Express through Angela.
Okay. Yeah. Good. Oh, very good. Yeah. So this has been great. So this is, like I said, this is a new territory, I think, for a lot of folks who do cruise but aren't looking on the outside of going to doing the pre and post excuse me, options. So I'm glad you're able to at least provide this information for them so that they know what is available for them, and then think about it and say, hey, let me call Angela and find out more about this. So
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
yeah, definitely do that. But I appreciate you again. I thank you. This is again, we're season 2 of Lunch and Learn series. This was our first one. We'll be back again on February the 16th talking about our destination of Scotland. So stay tuned. We'll be there same time, 1 p.m. Central Time. We'll be there on February the 16th. So thank you guys for joining us. Have a great rest of the day and talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you.